My beloved child, pause for a moment. Something quiet has been unfolding closer than you ever imagined. Not far away, not somewhere across the world, but right beside the life you already know. There is a story forming next door. And somehow, strangely, gently, it may be connected to your soulmate. Before you rush past this moment, listen carefully. Don't skip. Sometimes the smallest details carry the biggest meaning, and something huge is waiting for you if you stay till the end of this message. For a long time, you believed your life was moving in ordinary patterns. Days passing, moments repeating, nothing unusual to notice. But hidden inside those familiar routines, something subtle began shifting. Have you ever felt that strange pull, like a quiet whisper telling you that something nearby holds a piece of your future? Not far from where you stand right now, someone else has been feeling that same pull. They may not know your name yet. They may not recognize your face. But deep within their heart, a feeling has been growing, a feeling that someone important is closer than they realize. And this is where the hidden secret begins. Because the place next door, the place that once seemed completely ordinary, has quietly become part of a much bigger story. Think about it. How many times have you walked past a place without knowing that it carried meaning for your future? How many times has destiny moved silently beside you, while you believed nothing special was happening? This is the moment where things start to shift. The truth is, someone near you has recently discovered something unexpected. Not something frightening. Not something negative. Something surprising. Something that made them pause and wonder why certain moments kept pointing toward the same direction, toward someone they haven't even met yet. Toward you. And the strange part is, they didn't plan for this realization. It arrived quietly. Maybe during a simple walk. Maybe while standing near their window. Maybe while noticing the same familiar surroundings you see every day. Suddenly, they felt something different. A sense that the ordinary place next door might not be ordinary at all. Almost like it was placed there for a reason. Almost like two paths were slowly moving closer, without either person realizing how near they already are. Now here is where the story becomes even more mysterious. Because the person connected to this secret has also been asking themselves questions. Questions that sound surprisingly familiar. Why does it feel like someone meaningful is about to enter my life? Why do certain places suddenly feel important? Why do small coincidences keep appearing again and again? These questions may seem simple. But sometimes simple questions open doors to extraordinary moments. And that hidden place next door, the one no one paid much attention to before, has quietly become part of the answer. Don't skip this part, because what comes next may change the way you see everything around you. There is a reason your attention was drawn here today. There is a reason this message reached you at this exact moment. Something huge is waiting for you, but the full picture hasn't appeared yet. Because the secret next door is only the beginning. In the next part, something even more unexpected will be revealed. A small detail about that place, a detail almost everyone ignored, may hold the first real sign that your soulmate's path is already moving closer to yours. And once you notice that sign, nothing will look ordinary again. There is a moment in every story when the quiet clues finally begin to speak, and this may be that moment for you. Take a slow breath and listen closely, because what you are about to hear may explain why that ordinary place next door has started to feel different. Some people pass through life without noticing the subtle patterns forming around them. But you were meant to notice. You were meant to pause here. Because something unusual has recently happened near that place you thought you understood. At first, it seemed like nothing more than a simple change. A door opening at unexpected times. Lights appearing in the evening when no one expected anyone to be there. Small movements that most people would overlook without a second thought. But someone did notice, the person whose path is slowly moving toward yours. They noticed the way the atmosphere of that place began to feel, alive with possibility. Not loud. Not dramatic. just quietly meaningful. Almost like a message waiting to be understood. And here is the surprising part. One evening, while standing near that place, they felt a strange realization rise inside them, not a thought they forced, not something they planned. A realization that someone connected to their future might already be close. Closer than they had ever imagined. Don't skip this moment. Because what happened next is where the hidden secret truly begins to reveal itself. As they stood there, looking at the familiar surroundings, a memory surfaced in their mind. A memory of a conversation they once had with a friend. During that conversation, they spoke about something simple but powerful, how sometimes the most meaningful people in our lives appear from places we least expect. From streets we walk every day. From doors we pass without noticing. From neighbors whose stories have not yet crossed ours. And suddenly, the idea didn't feel like a theory anymore. It felt real. It felt possible. It felt like the beginning of something that had been quietly forming for a long time. And strangely enough, the same feeling has been moving inside you too. You may not have recognized it clearly. But deep inside, there has been a quiet sense that something meaningful is approaching. A shift. A connection. A moment that will make certain pieces of your life finally make sense. Stay till the end of this part, because something huge is waiting for you within this unfolding story. The secret next door is not about a building. It is not about a place. It is about timing. Because sometimes destiny arranges small circumstances in very ordinary locations, just so two lives can slowly move toward the same point. And the most unexpected detail has just appeared. Recently, that place next door became connected to a decision someone made. A decision that brought them physically closer to where you are. They didn't know why they felt drawn there. They only knew the feeling was strong enough to follow. Almost like an invisible thread gently guiding them. And the moment they arrived, something inside them felt calm. Familiar. Like they had stepped into the beginning of a chapter that was waiting to open. Now pause and think about this. What if the secret next door isn't a coincidence? What if it's a quiet meeting point, prepared long before either of you realized what it meant? Because sometimes the most powerful connections don't arrive with loud announcements. They appear quietly. Step by step. Moment by moment. And right now, the distance between two paths is becoming smaller. Much smaller than either of you realize. But the next revelation will make this story even more unbelievable. Because in the next part, a small discovery connected to that place next door will reveal a detail that feels almost impossible to ignore. And once that detail appears, you may begin to understand why this hidden secret feels so deeply connected to your soulmate. Right when everything seemed ordinary again, a tiny detail appeared that no one expected. Not a loud event. Not something dramatic. Just a quiet discovery, the kind that makes a person stop mid-step and wonder if life is trying to show them something. And strangely, that discovery happened right next door. The person whose path is slowly moving toward yours noticed it first. At the beginning, they almost ignored it. After all, most people would have walked past without thinking twice. But something about that moment felt different. Something about it felt personal. Don't skip this part, because this is where the hidden secret begins to reveal its deeper meaning. One afternoon, while passing that familiar place again, their eyes landed on a small sign near the entrance. It had likely been there for a short time, but for some reason, this time it stood out clearly. It wasn't an unusual message. Just a simple note about someone recently moving into the nearby area. But here's the strange part. When they read the words, a feeling washed over them, a feeling they couldn't explain. A calm curiosity. A quiet sense that the person connected to this place might not remain a stranger for long. And suddenly, their mind began connecting small pieces. Moments from the past. Random thoughts that once seemed meaningless. Little feelings that appeared and disappeared without explanation. all of them now pointing toward the same quiet possibility. Someone important might already be close. Closer than either of you ever imagined. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you inside this unfolding realization. That person stood there for a moment, looking at the place next door, and an unexpected thought came into their mind. What if the life they have been preparing for is about to cross paths with someone nearby? Not somewhere far away. Not years from now. But here, within the same surroundings they walk through every day. The idea felt surprising. But it also felt peaceful. Almost like a puzzle piece quietly sliding into its place. And here is the part that makes this moment even more mysterious. Around the same time, you may have felt a subtle shift too. Maybe a moment of curiosity about something nearby. Maybe a sudden thought about new connections forming. Maybe a feeling that something meaningful is approaching your life. These moments are easy to overlook. But sometimes, they are the quiet signals that two stories are slowly moving toward the same chapter. Because destiny rarely announces itself loudly. It prefers small beginnings. A glance. A thought. A simple place next door that suddenly feels important. Don't skip now. Because what happens next might be the most surprising part of this story so far. After noticing that message, the person connected to your path made a small decision. A simple choice that felt almost instinctive. They decided to spend a little more time near that place. Just observing. Just being present. And during those moments, something remarkable happened. They began to imagine meeting someone who felt strangely familiar, even before the meeting had ever happened. Someone whose presence would feel calm. Someone whose energy would feel understood. Someone whose story would somehow align with their own. And the truth is, the person they imagined may already be closer than they realize, because the secret next door is not just about a location. It is about timing, and two lives gradually moving toward the same moment. But in the next part, a new detail will appear, a detail connected to that very place that feels almost impossible to ignore. And when that detail comes into view, the idea that your soulmate may be closer than ever will begin to feel far more real than you expected. Sometimes the quietest moments carry the loudest meaning, and the next moment of this story may be one of those moments. Picture the same place next door. The same door. The same pathway. The same everyday surroundings that once felt completely ordinary. But now something about it feels different. As if the air itself is holding a secret. Don't skip this moment, because what unfolded next turned that quiet curiosity into something far more powerful. One evening, just as the light of the day softened into calm silence, the person connected to your path noticed something they had never seen before. A small object placed near the entrance. Not something dramatic. Not something strange. Just a simple detail that looked like it had been left there intentionally. At first glance, it seemed meaningless. But when they looked closer, something about it sparked a thought that made their heart pause for a second. Because the object carried a message. Not written directly. But hinted through a symbol, a small design that represented connection, timing, and new beginnings. And the moment they noticed it, a thought appeared in their mind that felt almost impossible to ignore. What if this place is more than just a neighbor's space? What if this is where two paths are meant to cross? Stay till the end of this moment, because something huge is waiting for you inside this quiet realization. For the first time, they didn't see that place next door as ordinary. They saw it as a doorway to possibility. A place where chance encounters could become meaningful conversations. A place where two lives could unexpectedly align. And strangely enough, as they stood there, they felt a sense of familiarity with someone they had never met. A feeling that somewhere nearby, there was a person whose story would soon intertwine with their own. That person could be you. Because sometimes destiny works in ways that feel unbelievably simple. It places two people close to each other long before they understand why. It allows them to walk the same streets. To pass the same corners. To exist in the same quiet world, until the moment finally arrives. Don't skip now. Because the most surprising realization is still unfolding. After that evening, the person connected to your future began noticing even more subtle signs. Moments when the place next door felt alive with quiet anticipation. Moments when they felt as though someone important was already nearby, even if they hadn't met yet. And each time that feeling appeared, it brought the same thought back to their mind. Someone meaningful is close. Closer than expected. Closer than coincidence. Something huge is waiting for you. But here is the most extraordinary part. Around the same time those thoughts began appearing in their mind, your own life may have been shifting too. Maybe you started feeling curious about new possibilities. Maybe a quiet feeling began telling you that something meaningful was approaching. Maybe certain moments started to feel like the beginning of something you couldn't fully explain yet. These feelings are not random. Sometimes they are the early signs of two stories slowly moving toward the same chapter. And the place next door, the place that once meant nothing special, may quietly be the meeting point where that chapter begins. But the next part of this story will reveal a detail that makes this connection even more unbelievable. Because soon, a moment will occur near that place that changes the entire meaning of the hidden secret. And when that moment appears, you may begin to realize that your soulmate's path has already moved much closer to yours than you ever imagined. Just when the story seemed to be moving quietly, an unexpected moment appeared that no one could have predicted. It didn't happen during a big event. It didn't arrive with noise or attention. It came during a simple, ordinary moment near that same place next door. And yet, the feeling it created was impossible to ignore. Don't skip this part, because the hidden secret is beginning to reveal its most meaningful layer. One day, as the person connected to your path walked past that place again, they noticed something different. The door was slightly open. Not wide enough to draw attention, but open just enough to reveal a glimpse of life inside. At first, they were about to continue walking. But something made them pause. A quiet instinct. A gentle feeling that this moment mattered. As they stood there for a second, a soft voice from inside the room was speaking to someone on the phone. Nothing unusual in the words. Just a simple conversation about moving, new beginnings, and adjusting to a new environment. But one sentence in that conversation carried a meaning that seemed to echo far beyond the walls. The voice said something that made time feel slower for a moment. They said they had recently moved here because they felt drawn to this place, as if something important was waiting nearby. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you within this moment. The person outside the door felt a quiet realization form inside them. That same feeling. The same quiet pull they had been experiencing for days. The same sense that someone meaningful was close, even if they had never met before. And suddenly the place next door didn't feel like a coincidence anymore. It felt like a crossroads. A quiet intersection where two stories might soon meet. Because the truth is, sometimes the most powerful connections begin long before two people actually speak. They begin with feelings. With timing. With invisible threads slowly bringing two lives into the same space. Don't skip now. Because what happened next made the moment even more surprising. Just as they were about to walk away, the door opened a little wider. For a brief second, someone stepped into the doorway. Not for long. Just a moment. But in that short instant, the person outside felt something they couldn't explain. Not recognition. Not certainty. Just a powerful sense of familiarity. Like seeing someone whose presence somehow felt calm, even though they were still strangers. And the person in the doorway seemed to feel something too. They paused slightly, as if noticing the presence of someone nearby. Two people. Standing only a short distance apart. Both feeling that same quiet curiosity. Both sensing that this simple place next door might be part of a much larger story. Something huge is waiting for you. Because moments like this rarely happen by accident. Sometimes they are the first spark of a connection that has been quietly approaching for a long time. And the most incredible part of this story is still ahead. Because in the next part, a small discovery connected to that place will reveal a detail that makes this hidden secret even more astonishing. A detail that might explain why your soulmate's path has been moving closer and closer to yours, right beside the life you already know. The most surprising moments often arrive in silence, and what happened after that brief doorway encounter carried a meaning neither of them expected. For a few seconds, the world around them felt unusually still. Not because anything dramatic happened, but because both of them sensed something subtle, something that felt important in a way they couldn't explain. And then the moment passed. The door gently closed. Footsteps moved away. The street returned to its quiet rhythm. Yet the feeling remained. Don't skip now, because this is where the hidden secret next door begins to reveal something deeper than anyone imagined. As the person connected to your path continued walking, a thought appeared in their mind that felt strangely clear. They had just stood near someone who might one day become deeply meaningful in their life. Not a random stranger. Not just another neighbor. Someone whose story might soon align with theirs. And the unusual part was this: the feeling didn't disappear after that moment. It stayed with them. Later that evening, they returned to the same place again, not intentionally, but almost as if their steps naturally led them there. The lights inside the place next door were glowing softly. Through the window, they noticed something that seemed simple but meaningful. A few boxes stacked near the wall. A table with a small notebook resting on top. And beside that notebook was something that caught their attention immediately. A photo. Not clearly visible from the outside, but visible enough to reveal something interesting. The photo showed a place they recognized. A nearby street. A familiar corner that many people walk past every day. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you inside this discovery. Why would someone keep a photo of that place? Why would that location feel important enough to place in a frame? The thought lingered in their mind. Maybe it was simply a favorite view. Maybe it held a personal memory. Or maybe, it represented something still waiting to happen. Because sometimes people place reminders of places that matter to their future. Places where something meaningful is expected to unfold. And what makes this moment even more extraordinary is that the same place in that photo may already be part of your daily world. A place you might walk past without realizing its significance. A place where two paths might soon cross naturally. Don't skip this moment. Because the more they thought about it, the more they began to realize something remarkable. Their decision to move near that place next door had not been random. It had been guided by a quiet feeling, a feeling that something meaningful was waiting nearby. And now, after that brief doorway moment and that mysterious photo, the idea felt stronger than ever. Someone important is close. Closer than coincidence. Closer than chance. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the secret next door is not just about proximity. It is about timing, about two lives slowly moving into alignment. But the next part of this story will reveal a detail that makes everything even more unbelievable. Because very soon, a small event will happen near that familiar street from the photo, an event that may finally bring the two of you face to face. And when that moment arrives, the quiet secret next door may transform into the beginning of something unforgettable. Some stories don't announce their turning point, they whisper it quietly into an ordinary day. And the day that followed the discovery of that photo felt exactly like that kind of moment. Nothing unusual at first. The same streets. The same calm surroundings. The same place next door that had suddenly become filled with unanswered questions. But something inside the person connected to your path felt different. A quiet sense of anticipation. As if the next piece of the story was about to appear. Don't skip this moment, because what happened next brought the hidden secret closer to the surface than ever before. Later that afternoon, they walked toward the nearby street shown in the photo. Not with a clear plan. Just a simple curiosity. A gentle pull guiding their steps. The place looked exactly as it always had. People passing by. Soft conversations drifting through the air. Nothing that seemed extraordinary at first glance. But then something small happened. Something so simple that most people would have ignored it. As they paused near the corner of that street, they noticed a familiar detail, the same view captured in the photo inside the place next door. The same angle. The same quiet corner. And suddenly a realization appeared. That photo wasn't just a random picture. It was a glimpse of a place where something meaningful was expected to happen. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you within this realization. For a moment, they stood there looking around. And then something even more surprising occurred. Across the street, someone else had just arrived. Someone who seemed to pause at that exact same corner, almost as if they had been drawn there by the same invisible thread. Two different people. Standing within the same quiet space. Both noticing the same surroundings. Both feeling the same quiet curiosity. The moment was brief. No words were exchanged. Just a glance in the direction of the same place. But in that silent instant, the atmosphere felt unusually meaningful. Almost like the universe was gently arranging a meeting that hadn't fully happened yet. Don't skip now. Because sometimes the first step of a powerful connection begins with nothing more than shared presence. The person connected to your path felt it immediately. A subtle awareness that someone nearby carried an energy that felt calm, familiar, almost like a missing piece quietly entering the picture. And the surprising truth is this. That person across the street may have felt something too. A brief moment of awareness. A sense that someone important might already be standing closer than expected. Something huge is waiting for you. Because when two paths begin moving toward the same moment, small encounters start appearing like quiet signals. Signals that the story is unfolding exactly when it should. But the next part of this journey will reveal something even more unbelievable. Because a new detail about the place next door will soon come to light, a detail that connects that photo, that street, and that brief shared moment in a way neither of them could have imagined. And when that connection becomes clear, the hidden secret next door may finally begin revealing the true reason your soulmate's path has been quietly moving closer to yours all along. There are moments when the universe seems to pause, as if it is waiting for two lives to finally notice each other. And the day after that silent encounter on the street carried that exact feeling. The place next door no longer looked ordinary. Every small detail now felt like a clue. Every quiet movement felt like part of a story slowly unfolding. Don't skip this moment, because the hidden secret is about to reveal something even more astonishing. That evening, as the sky softened into calm colors, the person connected to your path passed by the place next door again. But this time, something had changed. The window was open. Inside, the room looked more settled than before. The boxes that once filled the space were now arranged neatly along the wall. The small table was still there. And the notebook that had caught their attention earlier was now open. At first, they didn't intend to look inside. But as they passed the window, one page of that notebook was visible from outside. And what appeared on that page made their heart pause for a moment. It wasn't a list. It wasn't random writing. It looked like a collection of thoughts, reflections about new beginnings and unexpected connections. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you inside this discovery. One sentence on that page stood out more than anything else. It described a feeling about meeting someone important in a place that once seemed completely ordinary. Someone whose presence would feel familiar, even before words were exchanged. Someone whose path had already crossed nearby more than once without either person realizing it. Reading those words created a quiet realization. Because the same thing had already started happening. The doorway moment. The shared street corner. The subtle awareness that someone meaningful might already be close. None of it felt accidental anymore. It felt like preparation. Like two lives gradually moving closer until the right moment arrived. Don't skip now. Because what happened next made the connection feel even more powerful. As they continued walking away from the window, they noticed something unexpected behind them. Footsteps. Soft and unhurried. For a brief second, they turned slightly, not fully, just enough to sense who might be there. And once again, someone familiar stood nearby. The same person from the quiet corner on the street. Not speaking. Not approaching. Just standing there, looking toward the same place next door. Two people. Both drawn back to the same location. Both noticing the same details. Both feeling the same quiet curiosity. Something huge is waiting for you. Because moments like this rarely repeat unless something meaningful is unfolding. The secret next door was no longer just a mystery. It was becoming a bridge. A quiet connection point where two stories kept circling closer to each other.